Hey FlossTube! I'm back again for another video. My name is Beth Twist and I'm the designer for Heartstring Samplery. And I've had so much fun with this whole FlossTube thing, and I've watched a few more videos since I last posted, and thought it was time for me to give you another little update on how things are going here at my place in Oregon. And notice the fun change of scenery behind me. It hit 50 degrees today, and I figure if the bees can be out flying, then I can be outside. A little bit chilly, I have to confess, but the birds are singing. Oh, now there's an airplane flying over. We don't hear traffic around here too much, but we do get airplanes and the log trucks as they go up and down the road to, because we're only 7 miles from national forest land that just goes on and on and on until eastern Oregon with nobody living there. So the log trucks go up the road and it's kind of noisy. Right now there's little trees in this bush behind me and over here, and you see my orchard is starting to bloom. Those are the plum trees. And a lot of you like my barn, so I put the barn behind me so you can see a little bit of my world. Anyway, oh, like my mug. Yeah, that's the farm boy. This was on vacation in October. I don't know if you can see that. The kids were completely passed out in the back seat of the car. And then there's me. There, how's that? I'll take a drink of coffee from the side that shows my face. All right. Business. The most important reason I am here today is that I did a major bad thing. And I had originally said that with my queen bee pincushion, I would include an alphabet so that if you wanted, you didn't have to put a B in there, you could put your own initial. And I completely forgot to develop that alphabet. Didn't include it with the charts. They all went out at Nashville, sending out orders afterwards, and somebody emailed me and said, hey, I thought that I heard somewhere that there was an alphabet, and I was like, oh, whoops, big mistake, so sorry. So I'm here to tell you that I now have in PDF format an alphabet that's designed to fit in the little green star on the pincushion so that you can personalize it. So if you've already started stitching or have already finished it, I'm so sorry. If you decide you want to do it again, just contact me and I will send you that PDF by email. You can find, it's really easy to email me. My email address is on the back of all of my charts. It's beth@heartstringsamplery.com. Super, I think, easy to remember. Every printing of this chart moving forward will have the alphabet included, so if you haven't ordered it yet, if you're getting it from a shop or the distributor is going to the shop, it probably will still not have the alphabet because there's a bunch of them already out there. But if you go straight to my Etsy shop to order it, it will have the alphabet, or you can contact me directly for it. Okay, so that's out of the way. A new feature I want to start adding to my little videos is I want to talk about some of my older designs. I've been designing for almost 10 years now, but the first several years that I was designing, I wasn't very well known. I was selling much smaller quantities of charts, and I have some older designs that I feel like are still relevant today that maybe you've never seen. So I'm going to be picking and choosing some of my personal favorites. And today, the first one I am going to show you, I chose because today is Good Friday when I'm videoing this, and being a follower of Jesus Christ, I have a lot of special connection with this holiday weekend. And many years ago I found an undated antique sampler that Victorian, based on the fact that it was stitched in wool, and just the look of some of the graphics made me think that it was Victorian era, but no date, no name. But it says down here in this little tiny over one section, it says no cross, no crown. Let's see if I can get it to focus on that instead of my face. There's that better. And then in the cross it says Jesus and love. Has the standard alphabet. Really fun mustardy yellow colors. I charted it true to the antique, but I didn't stitch it in wool. I stitched it in cotton flosses on linen, and actually it's smaller than the original because I stitched it on a higher count linen because that's the look I wanted. Anyway, it's called No Cross, No Crown, and here's what the chart looks like. I haven't updated it to my new format yet, but still got the same goods on the inside. And the other one that I wanted to talk about today is one of my absolute favorites. This one I think got lost in the hullabaloo when I was releasing Coffee Quaker at Nashville last year. Not this year, last year, in 2017. It was one of my Nashville releases and really got very little traction and not a lot of purchases because everybody was wanting to stitch Coffee Quaker, which, thank you, by the way. That sampler has been a lot of fun to watch how many people are stitching it out there. Anyway, this little guy is called Let It Begin With Me. It's the first time I put one on a little horn book. I not only put it on a horn book, but this one I found from a shop on Etsy. Let's see if I have it on the, I think I have it listed on the chart. Perfect Prim Punch on Etsy sells just unfinished wood horn books, and then I did a little, I did all the painting on it, and I'm pretty sure I have one of my tutorials is on how to refinish one of these, and it's basically just a bunch of layers of acrylic paint in whatever colors you want, and then some sandpaper and then shoe polish. And it's, you know, it takes a couple days to do it because you want to let the paint dry in between, and you just put it on really sloppy so that you get some nice texture when you, I don't know if it shows or not. Anyway, Let It Begin With Me. And something I want to do is do a little gift away. I have one copy of each chart, and I haven't done a YouTube giveaway before, so I know you're not supposed to say giveaway in the comments, but what I would like you to do in the comments is put in, first of all, the name of the chart that you most like, and tell me how your family celebrates Easter, or if you don't celebrate Easter. I just want to know, do you do Easter egg hunts? Do you go to a church service? Do you take advantage of sales and go shopping? I want to know how your family celebrates Easter. And sometime in the next, let's say, week, so by Friday, I will go through and I'll do a random, figure out how to do one of those random generators, or I might have my kids pick a number. We'll see. And I'll send these off to 2 of you viewers. What else? Oh, I want to show you, I think I talked in my last video about the little shop sampler that I was putting together for Acorns and Threads, my local shop. Well, I finished stitching it, so I wanted to show it to you. I stitched it over 1, but on 25 count linen, and I just love how it turned out. I decided, instead of completely filling the wording at the bottom and top with cross stitch, I did sort of a back and forth tent stitch. It gives it a little bit of a, not houndstooth, chevron, a little bit of a chevron look, which I really like. So this is what prompted me to do the video today, even though it's a ponytail day and I don't generally show myself in ponytail, I don't know why. I don't like my hair in a ponytail, but the whole world is seeing me now. I am taking this to Janine at Acorns and Threads tomorrow to hand it off to her so she can have it in her shop. So I was like, oh, I better do a video so I can show you before I do that, before I take it away forever. And I sent off in the mail last week or the week before a little packet to Dying to Stitch with their own shop sampler, because I visited their shop twice. So that's the only 2 needlework shops I've ever visited in person. So I figured I would grandfather them in. So I'm retroactively pulling them into the shop sampler program. The next shop that I will be visiting is Tomorrow's Heirlooms in July for their retreat. So I'll have one that I'll take with me there. Now these charts are free when you shop with these different brick and mortar shops, whether you shop with them online or in person. However they want to distribute the charts, they're there for the asking. If they don't have it out and you want it, just say, hey, do you by chance have one of those stash enabling samplers from Heartstring Samplery that has your shop name on it? And hopefully they will have it somewhere where they can find it. But speaking of Tomorrow's Heirlooms, I started stitching on one of the projects for that retreat last night, and I thought I would show you sort of a little sneak peek. At least you can see the colors that I'm using, and I'm pretty excited about this set of projects. I'm stitching it on Picture This Plus Oaken, which is a new color to me, and I'm using a combination of some classic colorworks and some gentle art. Those of you who are going to the retreat will get the kits, and then usually at some point, at least a year after a retreat or a club, sometimes up to 2 years after, I'll release it to the general public. Sometimes with little changes, sometimes exactly as I did it for the retreat. But I want it to be special to those people that attended the retreat, that's exclusively theirs for a while. But I also put a lot of work into them. So I doubt I will ever release something that is completely exclusive to a shop or event, just because it's part of me that I've invested in them and I want to make them eventually available to everybody. Speaking of club designs, I just finished up the design that I made for Country Sampler in Spring Green. Has a brand new club, you guys. Jeannie does some amazing clubs with the help of her staff. Everything from quilting to wool applique. I know they have a couple of fabulous retreats they put on every year, and I've always kind of just watched from a distance and wished I was a part of one of them. And so when Jeannie reached out to me late last year and asked if I would contribute to a brand new club, of course I jumped at the chance. And you guys, the lineup is fabulous. I can't believe I'm included with the likes of the other designers. Let me see, I think there's 3 others: Paulette Stewart, Kathy Barrick, and Tanya from the Scarlet House, which, who wouldn't sign up for that club? I know you all have a ton of clubs to choose from. You've got Dying to Stitch has a couple of amazing clubs. I know I've designed for the Silver Needle, Tomorrow's Heirlooms. I don't even know who all else. Those are just the ones I've been involved with. So I don't know how you choose. Maybe you just join all of the clubs. I wish we all had enough money that we could join all of the clubs and had the time to stitch all the things. So anyway, no pressure. But this is a fabulous club. All of the designs are going to have houses on them. And I feel really bad right now, but the official name of the club is escaping me. If you go to the Girl Club section on the Country Sampler website, you'll find it. I think it's at the top of the list because it's new. It's basically all going to be farmhouses or houses inspired by farmhouses or just coming from inspiration. Anyway, I'm not giving you a full peek. This is as much as I'm going to show you. It's so you can see the colors. Of course, it's focusing on my face again. There. You can see the colors. Very springy. There's some purple in there, some green, a lot of grays. It looks amazing on the linen that I chose, which is a 36 count R&R Old Mill Java. And I'm honoring a historical connection that's very close to home. Just 8 miles down the road is the Philip Foster Farm, which is one of the first established locations for the trail, the Oregon Trail. When Philip Foster and, oh no, I'm forgetting who it was, Barton, I think, collaborated to build a road over the shoulder of Mount Hood so that if people didn't want to be ferried down the Columbia River, which was a really dangerous, a lot of people drowned ferrying down the Columbia River. So if they wanted a dry land route that came up over, sorry for the little airplane flyover right now. If they wanted a dry route over the shoulder of Mount Hood, they wanted to put this road in. And of course it was profit making for the two that collaborated together on this, but they hired the crews, they broke the road, they had a couple of tolls, and then as people came down into, started into the Willamette Valley area, here was Philip Foster's farm, and it was a couple hundred acres, I believe, in the beginning, and he had a garden and an orchard, and he would rent out. People sometimes were desperate enough that they would pay money to sleep on his parlor floor because they were so tired of sleeping on the ground. Anyway, I'll go into more. I'll have a little write-up that goes with the chart that reflects the history of the place. But that's the house that I chose for my design, and I put, when I showed you the sneak peek, the borders at the top and the bottom represent Douglas fir boughs because that's all we have. I mean, look at the tree line behind me. It's all Douglas fir, northern red cedar, and hemlock. We do have deciduous trees mixed in, which you don't really see right now because they're bare branches. We have a lot of alder trees and vine maple, but primarily here in our part of Oregon, our forests are evergreen. So I put some of that in because I imagine some of the people coming from the Midwest or even back east had never probably seen an evergreen forest, and that was probably something stunning to them. The rest of my little sampler, it's very small, is the house, and I'm sure very soon you will see that because I'm getting ready to do my cover photography and get the chart finalized, and we'll hopefully be able to send the charts off by the end of next week. So if you haven't signed up for that, I think that it's still open. Go over to the Country Sampler's website. I will try to remember to link it below, although I've never done that before. I might forget, but I'm sure a Google search will pull it up. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I just sent off my little Festive Bob series. I just sent off the May and June sets to my 2 model stitchers, and I'm super happy with how they turned out. I think I already gave the hint that April's is going to be bees, so I wonder if you have any guesses what May and June might be. Feel free to leave them in the comments. I don't read all of your comments right away. I'm a little bit sporadic still, but I eventually get in and I read them all, and If I have an immediate thought that pops to my mind, I'll respond. Otherwise, I'll at least give you a little like so you know that I read your comment. Then the final big thing that I have coming up this year is October. I'll be at the Salty Yarns retreat over on the East Coast, which I'm excited about. I've never been to the East Coast in October. I've heard it's beautiful. And I can't remember who else is. There's 2 other people doing that retreat, teaching that retreat with me. Maybe the Purple Thread, and I can't remember who else. Go check out the Salty Yarns website and see if they have information up yet. If they don't, I'll try to find that information out for you so that I can share it on my next video. That's all the business. This is going to be a shorter video than the last time because, I don't know, I just don't have a whole lot to talk about. What are we at? 21 minutes? That's not too bad. I mostly just wanted you to sit outside with me for a little bit. It makes me feel a little bit warmer than if I was out here by myself. That and drinking out of my Farm Boy mug. Isn't he cute? I love the gray he's getting in his beard. Shh, don't tell him I said that. He's not a big fan of getting older. Happens to the best of us. The final thing I wanted to show you is one of my antique samplers. And I'm probably going to do this. I don't have a ton of them, but I didn't used to have any at all, and because I just couldn't afford them. And so I started being able to justify buying antique samplers when I started designing, because I thought, well, if I just sell enough charts to pay for the antique, then it's worth it. So that's what I did, and now I have enough that I have half a dozen or so that I haven't charted. And this one I'm showing you today, I don't know if I will ever chart it because it has some embroidery on it, and that scares the living daylights out of me. I don't know how to chart for embroidery. I've done embroidery, but it's all been very freehand, and I just don't know if I want charts that are that complex. I like sticking with cross stitch because it's on a grid, it's really easy. Anyway, this was given to me. Oh, you're gonna get reflection. Oh, that's too bad. I'm so sorry. Between the windows and the sky. This was given to me by the daughters of the man whose family it came down in. I've known the family for years, and very, very dear people to me. They both passed away, and they both lived to a nice upper 80s age, mid to upper 80s, but they're both now gone. And this one hangs in my kitchen, and I look at it almost every day and think of my dear friends Dick and Martha. And I call it Martha's sampler because even though it came through Dick's family, it was stitched by Martha M. Wright in 1820. And it's super faded. It's not framed probably in a very acid-free way. It's in an old tray with glass. I imagine at some point maybe somebody actually served things on it, but this is how it always hung in Dick and Martha's house, and I'm a little bit reluctant to take it out of its frame, although I'm sure at some point I might. Anyway, it's got some really lovely eyelets at the top. This bouquet right here is the one that I don't want to chart. It's embroidered. But there's little birds and trees and lovely sayings. It says, "Approach my soul the mercy seat, where Jesus answers prayer. There humbly fall before his feet, for none can perish there." So dramatic, but so true. And then down at the bottom it says, "Fear God" on one side, and "Peace be my lot," which I really love. There's a couple of little spotted, well, one of them is spotted. This little guy up here is a little spotted dog or cat. Super cute. There's another one that's not spotted down at the bottom. Anyway, that's me and my barn and my orchard and one of my lovely samplers that is very dear to me for a lot of reasons. Oh, I was going to point out, this is so funny to me. There's this one little bit of red that's not even a flower. It's just a couple of little stitches of red, and there's no red anywhere else in the whole sampler. I can't figure that one out, what she was thinking or why it's there, but it's just another reason to love it. So that's all for today. It's not a long video. Sorry, I don't have a lot more to say. That was enough, right? So leave in the comments. I don't remember the things that I said to leave in the comments. Oh, for the 2 charts, tell me first of all which one you're entering for. Only one. Choose one. Either Let It Begin With Me or, which I didn't really talk about the fact that's in reference to, Let It Begin With Me is in reference to the fact that I have a strong opinion that changing the world cannot happen from a government level, or maybe that it's not going to happen from a government level. The government is there for a reason, of all the different countries, but really if you're going to change somebody's life in a way that's impactful, it has to start with you. That's what this is about. So Let It Begin With Me or No Cross, No Crown. Put that first, and then tell me how your family celebrates Easter or doesn't celebrate Easter. I'm just curious. I want to get to know my viewers better. And that's all. I hope that you're well and enjoying lovely spring. And I'm actually going to step out of the video camera's view for just a moment and let you hear the birds. And be well, stitch every day, and I hope to see you soon.